Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Brunner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Dobbs to the Vikings. That's the trade that just happened. That's stupid. Okay, so I mean I just want to see what the compensation was. It's got to be like a 6th, right? Josh Dobbs gives the Vikings quarterback with Jaron Hall not ready. We don't have the compensation. Whatever. Okay, so Josh Dobbs gets traded to the Vikings. Big trade. So we've talked about now a couple times on the show already. What should we be doing with Justin Jefferson? How should we be projecting Justin Jefferson the rest of the year, given the quarterbacks, given this, given that, yada, yada, yada. Now, I think Josh Dobbs has shown he's capable of completing the passes, making the passes, right? Marquise Brown has been viewed as a relevant receiver this year. We've seen him target the tight ends plenty with Zach Ertz having big games, Trey McBride just having a big game. So in terms of the receivers for the Vikings, I don't think they end up seeing that big of a step down from Kirk Cousins fantasy-wise. I think that makes a lot of... I think it's a good thing for them, right? So talking about Justin Jefferson, I think when he comes back, he's still a wide receiver 1. I think Jordan Addison will continue to have some pretty big role. We've seen how Marquise Brown was targeted down the field. I think Jordan Addison could be targeted in the same way. And we've seen Josh Dobbs lock on to a tight end and pepper them with targets. So maybe the biggest winner in this entire thing may end up being TJ Hawkinson. Maybe he starts getting peppered with targets even more. Obviously, he's a big target. Obviously, he's a great player. He's an easy target for Josh Dobbs. So maybe he starts getting peppered with targets. That would be huge. See if he can really take over that tight end 2 behind Travis Kelce overall, I would say. I think TJ Hawkinson could be good. And then just Josh Dobbs as a whole. Josh Dobbs, if his passing is okay, we've seen him run and make some plays with his legs. He's getting some touchdowns. He extends some drives. So maybe he is locked in now as sort of a bye-week fill-in candidate for you for fantasy football. And I think he has that top 15 upside every week. I think he could end up being relevant. So if you're in a deeper league, 14, 16 team, hell, maybe even 12 team, depending on how shitty your quarterback is, given the injuries, maybe you had Kirk Cousins. I would prefer to pick up Josh Dobbs right now over Will Levis. I would prefer to pick him up over, obviously you're not picking up the other Vikings quarterback. The 3 I'm balancing is we got Sam Howell, you got Derek Carr, you got Josh Dobbs. How would I order those 3? Again, I don't like Sam Howell this week against the Patriots. However, I think I still may go with Sam Howell as the best quarterback of the bunch. But I think I would probably go Sam Howell, Josh Dobbs, then Derek Carr, just because I've seen Derek Carr regress. I've seen Derek Carr fold as the season progresses. So while Derek Carr's been pretty steady the past month, I think I'd prefer Josh Dobbs over him. Here on the Dobbs news. Okay, cool. Yeah, we were just talking about this, Derek. Who would you be willing to give up for Justin Jefferson now, assuming you're locked into the playoffs? So for Justin Jefferson, again, I don't think I'm trading anything past like low end wide receiver 1 value for Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be Justin Jefferson of old for a couple of reasons. One, I don't, hamstring injury. We'll see how good of shape he is when he comes back. See how good the hamstring is when he comes back. Re-injury risk for soft tissue, lower leg, or just leg in general is certainly a thing. And then Josh Dobbs obviously is a downgrade from Kirk Cousins. So I'm not trading anything past low end wide receiver one value. It's hard for me to just tell you who would I be willing to give up for him, not knowing your team. So if you tell me what your team is, I'll let you know. But I would trade one of your starting receivers and maybe a running back or maybe a quarterback or something to see what you can do. It's going to be hard for you to go position for position. I don't think you can go Kelvin Ridley for Justin Jefferson or something like that. That doesn't make sense. You have Hollywood, McLaurin, Olave that I'd consider. Let me know for your other players, but they're all worthy of getting rid of, I would say, for Justin Jefferson. I'm cool with going Hollywood and somebody else, McLaurin and somebody else, Olave and somebody else for Justin Jefferson, depending on what that owner wants. I don't think you can do any of them individually for him. I think you're going to have to package. Luke thinks get rid of Olave. I can't necessarily disagree with that. Olave, you can look at the numbers, you can look at everything, and it screams there's potential for better days ahead. And I understand that's why all these other fantasy football analysts are saying he's such a buy low. You have to get him. I just think the offense and possibly his talent doesn't necessarily mean he's a buy low. You got Eckler, Kamara, and Mostert. I mean, you got anybody else? I don't want to trade those guys either. I would be willing for Justin Jefferson, and I would probably offer something lower, but I wouldn't be afraid of going Olave and Mostert for Justin Jefferson at all. I would be willing to do it. I don't know if the Jefferson owner will be willing to do it. You know what I mean? I would be willing to give that up.